So in order to create a symbiotic relationship, and I asked you, the previous question was, what can an HR professional do from their point of view to help build that relationship? Now I want to flip that around. What's the responsibility of the C-suite? You sit in the C-suite. What's your responsibility in making sure that that is a symbiotic relationship? There is a strategic partnership there.
For myself, it's really pushing it downward into my team, really like doing what I can to help my team. And what I mean by that is just as I would want myself to operate with it is cultivating that culture down into your team and so that they resonate the same way outward the same way. So when I look at it is I set the tone for my team and I set the tone of what I want the team to be. That tone from the top down into the team lets you establish how your team is going to operate. If you have a negative tone for the day, the team can resonate to that same tone. So if you resonate to the area that you want to understand that we're going to build these relationships here, we're going to build the relationships here, and so on, it is important to understand that when I look at my team and we work together on things, that the message that I want them to carry forward carries forward in a way that we all speak with that same voice, that culture stays together and that culture stays linked to what you believe in as far as how you're going to operate. So the biggest thing I would say is that you take the responsibility, you set the tone within your team. So from my seat, if I set a negative tone for the day for whatever it might be, it's going to go down. I own that responsibility. If I set a positive one, it's the same thing. If I set the speed, it's the same one. So if I am wanting to have that relationship with those groups, you want to understand your responsibility of what you're doing to your team and how you're doing it. So you have to reflect on a daily basis of how you feel and how you believe is going to reflect inward to your team at all times. So even when things are tight or running strong, to even if you have to push to get something done, it's to be that we're going to figure this out. It has to be there to do it. So it's an important role. So I think it's not easy to do, especially when things are hitting the wall. But it's a role that you have to understand that your tone sets the disposition of where the team goes.
You know, setting that tone, creating that relationship. We all have more than we can do in a day, right? We all are trying to get things off of our list. And so building that relationship, you talked about it, it's not like a project that it comes to a completion. Oh, I built that relationship. You talked about it as a continuous process. So it's something we always have to be working on. And we don't like taking more on that we always have to work on. We got enough of that, right? But why is this something that you think, from a CISO's perspective, raises to the level of importance that you should be working on a regular basis?
I've said this in a couple of different places, but I do believe security is paramount, I think, in a company, especially where we're at here at MoonPay, and making sure that we protect our platforms and our customers in the same way. But you have to cultivate a security, in my opinion. You have to cultivate a security first culture. Security is always seen as a blocker. No matter what you try to do, it's always going to be seen as a blocker. But if you cultivate it the proper way and you help to share what your vision is for security, how you're going to lay it out, what you're going to do is very important. So when you think about talent and those things, understanding that you're coming into a secure workspace, that you understand that while we want to innovate and we're going to move fast, we're going to do it securely. So understanding those things and making sure that that message is heard is important. So as you're building those relationships, it's continual across the board on how you onboard new employees and explain how IT works or explain how your security systems work is important. Literally just this last week, I led a security onboarding session for a group that was coming in because there were questions. And I told them on there, we won't hide anything from you about how we operate. I want you to know about it. I think the more you know about it, the better off it's going to be. There's no secrets to be held. We're here to protect, we're here to enable, we're here to help you move faster. We will do what we have to do, but we'll also do it in such a way that if something isn't right, we'll reach out, we will talk. We will only take really drastic action when it's in the best interest of something at the company, like because it's we should do. But having a layer where there's a layer of trust built into it that we're here to help, not just merely protect, I think is very important. So same thing goes with when you look at your talent team. If you're going to bring those new hires coming in, sharing the vision with them, sharing the culture with them of what we have and how security operates, really I believe will help set a really positive tone in the long term. So it's really important to ensure that you are able to share that horizontally, not just once and you're done. It needs to be continuous. It has to be talked about more and more on a daily basis.